Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
You know, guys, one of the common questions that I get all the time, and I don't know about you guys, but people go, well, is this the right time to buy? When is the perfect time to buy? And my response when somebody asks, is this the right time to buy or is this the right time to sell? The answer is always yes. It just depends on where somebody's at in life and what their motives are and what their goals are. But, you know, Ryan, I sense that we have so many people who are sitting on the fence and they're waiting for the perfect time. And I would say there are inherent dangers with that kind of mindset.
There is, and So I always think of it like going in terms of like when I was a kid, right? Like when I was in like high school. And I think about it like those girls that I saw that I was like, man, I just wish I had an opportunity to take them out.
Don't say what you were really thinking. Easy now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you're going to get me in trouble. And I just think like, what would have happened had I just taken a shot, right? Just went over there and just said, hey, look, I think you're cute. I'd like to learn more about you. I'd like to talk with you. What if we went out on a date?
You know, I had a baseball coach. He had two sayings that I learned from. First one was smoke it if you got it. And that's a whole discussion for another day.
It is good advice.
but it's solid. It's a solid advice. But he also taught me the principle of, because I remember when I had to ask for an increase in my baseball scholarship. And, and it was like, hey, good on you, because you never receive unless you ask. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember going back to my junior high days. And back then, junior high for me was ninth grade, asking my first girl out ever. Her name was Dana. And I remember all my friends told me, oh, yeah, Dana likes you. She digs you, and she's going to say yes. Just got to ask her out. Yeah, there's always one. And I remember the nights, oh, my gosh, the nights I would just lose sleep trying to muster up the strength. And right before I went to bed, I'm like, tomorrow's going to be the day. And then tomorrow came, and I chickened out. And so this went on for weeks at a time. Finally, the day came. We're walking down the hall. And back then, and I don't know what it means, and I don't know where we're going, but we used to say, will you go with me? That was how we didn't have text messaging and we didn't have Facebook.
Did you have a pen? Did you put a pen on her?
Yeah, we weren't even doing the letters, check the box, yes or no or whatever. So because even back then as a kid, I'm like, you got to man up. I'm not hiding behind paper like all these kids hide behind text messages and social media. I'm like, I'm going to ball up. I'm going to ask her out. We're walking down the hallway, and I'm like, so I stop her and say, Dana, will you go with me? And she said, no. No. But I teach my kids today, though, even if they say no, you get street cred with your friends.
And whenever you need to be humbled, all I'm going to do is just turn to you and I'm going to say, hey, Dana. I have kind of a similar story in that, just if we're going off topic here a little bit, going down the metaphorical element of waiting. There's this girl, her name was Jeannie. So I was talking to her.
I dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, if you asked me out, I'd say yes. And still, I waited like a week, right? Which is like, what are you doing?
I learned that lesson with my wife. My wife says, hey, you asked me tonight. It's yes. It's never a sure thing.
Total amateur move. But still, finally, I mustered it up about a week later, and we were walking down the breezeway after school, and I asked her, and at the top of her lungs, she said, no, I won't go out with you, Ryan Gertis. And I was like, oh, devastated.
Wow. Well, I just got to tell you guys, I didn't have that issue. I never even thought about it. If I liked a girl,
because you started drinking when you were like 8 years old. Yeah, you must have. You showed up
6 years old.
You showed up to school inebriated, man.
You had a full beard in 6th grade, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
I had one of those dirt mustaches in 6th grade.
Well, I promise everybody. We are going to flip this around. We are going to talk about real estate, and we're going to talk about the perfect time and the dangers of waiting. And we want to encourage you to reach out to our team to have that real estate wealth conversation. All you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Ryan, I don't know how you bring this around.
The moral of the story is that was the first time I heard the word no, because it was the first time I'd ever asked anyone out, right? And this is a numbers game, right? So when you are thinking about investing in real estate, you need to understand the numbers. You need to understand that not all of them are going to work out. You're going to have to say no to some of them, right? Or some of them are going to say no to you. You get back up on that horse, and then you try it. And you're not looking for home runs on every single one of them. You're looking for singles and doubles, and then before you know it, you're going to find that perfect match that you're like, oh man, this is, metaphorically speaking for me, this is the girl of my dreams. This is going to work out. I hit a grand slam here, right? But you're never going to know if you don't get an at-bat, if you don't step up to the plate.
But guys, going back to the dangers of waiting for the perfect time, or for those people who are sitting on the fence and saying, I'm waiting for the perfect time.
There is no perfect time.
Yeah, we could get. You gonna steal my thunder?
Well,
come on, I'm revved up. I'm ready to go. I've got something.
I'll
here.
give you 5 seconds.
Okay, so you could take 100 people, line them up against a wall, and have them hand a microphone down and say, what is the perfect time? You know what you're going to get? You're going to get 100 different answers. There's no such thing as the perfect time. The timing is all about your needs, your wants, your motives, where you're at in life, and what your goals are.
Yeah, and
that was pretty good, huh, bro?
Yeah, that was good.
attaboy.
That was good. I love how you laid that out.
Good deal, dude. For me, it's just missing out on those opportunities, right? Like, because if you just make it a habit of saying no, or the habit of waiting, you're going to be that person that waits your entire life by, and then before you know it, everybody else that's saying yes to those opportunities, they're going to be just sailing past you. And I'm not all about keeping up with the Joneses. You need to develop your own style. You need to develop your own model. You need to identify what opportunities work for you, because what works for you may not work for the other person. And so you're not going to know that unless you just go over there and you give it a shot, and sooner rather than later, because you're going to go through a lot of no's before you start saying, hey, this is a yes situation.
Well, we'd love to have that conversation with you, just to explore the options, explore the real estate market. And if you want to learn more about building wealth through real estate, all you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Justin, I want to elaborate because you handle the mortgage side, the loan side. Timing, whether it's the right time or the wrong time, I guess, is it the wrong time to buy? Yes. Is it the right time to buy? Yes. It depends on where that individual is in life.
Absolutely. And I love what you guys are saying here. It's you just have to have a plan, educate yourself, do your due diligence, and have conversations with you guys. Like I said, have a plan and pick right, buy right. You know, there's home runs out there, there's doubles, there's triples. But if you don't have a plan, it's going to be hard to find those. If you have a plan and you stick to the numbers like you guys always talk about, it's going to work out. And what does it hurt to have a conversation about it?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything. And Ryan, some people go, well, I don't want a single, I don't want a double. Point of the matter is, and our good friend, our coach, our mentor, Stevie D, he always tells us, you can't show me a property that is not going to be worth more 7 years today or 7 years from now than what it is today. Property values, at least here in Maricopa County, they always go up in value. And going back to the market crash 2007 to 2009, for a lot of people, they lost a lot of equity, right? And you take a look at where these properties dropped in 2010 to 2011, guess what? They're all up in value. And if you hung on to those homes throughout this time, you would be up in value.
And we even experienced a little bit of a recession over the past, 18 months, 2 years. We've already seen massive stabilization, and numbers are suggesting that, and you've brought this up before, suggesting that in the next 5 years, seeing another 25% increase. That is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, there's a major difference between now and then. In 2007, 8, 9, 10, we were building 18 to 20 million homes across the United States. Today, we're building 11 million. We had a huge inventory. We had a large amount of inventory then. We don't have it today.
Going back to recessions, and this is the mind boggle. This is what people don't understand. When you hear the word recession, your mind automatically goes flee from real estate. The real estate market is going to crash. Proven fact. Just ask me. 6 of the last 8 recessions in the United States, six of the last 8 recessions, Ryan, property values went up. The word recession to me, you know what that means? Opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a lot of people don't realize that in 2017 we were going through a little bit of a recession, but no one cared because values were still going up. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we define a recession because volume was down back then. Homes just weren't selling that fast. But, I guess in some markets they actually were, but still the values weren't going up. And so you look at it now and you say, well, all right, I'm making 1% to 2% per month over month on my real estate. That seems like a great number. But now you compare it to not making anything, even though properties were still moving, no one cared because no one was losing money, and they just didn't realize that they were in the middle of a little bit of a chaotic market during that time. And then, of course, it bounced right back, and then values started going up, and then COVID hit, and the values just went soaring. So, I mean, you got to walk me through that if you're going to convince me that you're going to lose by investing in real estate in our current market.
Well, we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you have to do is text the word wealth to area code 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. I'll end with this, and I'll let either one of you or both of you jump in, going back to our dating metaphor. Part of that process was, yes, you had to have the guts to wake up and go up to that girl and ask her out. You women have no idea the stress that places on a 14-year-old dude, but it is what it is. But part of what you did is you just didn't go up to a girl and say, hey, will you go out with me? You did a little homework. You did a little research. You talked to her friends, right? You talked to your friends. What's going to happen if I ask her out? Does she like me? This and that. And so for us as real estate wealth managers, is at the very, very least, don't sit on the sidelines. Do not jump on a potential opportunity without least talking with a real estate wealth manager, without talking with someone who's an expert in this, and do your due diligence. I think it's foolish just to sit back and say, oh, well, the market's this, the market's that, and I'm not going to even do anything. And you haven't even had an intelligent conversation. And what I mean by intelligent, not necessarily are you talking to someone who's smart or not, are you talking with someone who understands the real estate market?
And someone who's experienced with it. I guess the moral of the story, to sum up what you're saying, don't act like a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Be a grown-up about it.
Unless you're Justin, you got a 6-pack of PBR in your locker.
Oh, boy.
All right, again, folks, we would love to have a real estate conversation with you. It is free. It is painless. All you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.